Honorable Ryder.
Thank you, Chairperson. Deputy Minister, it's common cause that the NHI is going to cost a lot. We only have 13% of the population registered as taxpayers, and they're already feeling overburdened and are struggling. Single parents are struggling to put food on the table, and now the NHI is proposing to tax them more. Then there's the additional money that we're going to be requesting from the rest of the national budget, with a fiscus which is already contracting in real terms. The Treasury said it was particularly concerned that funds meant to strengthen health systems for the NHI rollout are not being used as planned. You spoke now in your last answer about lack of information. We are told that there's also been a Treasury report on NHI which is unfavorable, but it's also being withheld. So, Deputy Minister, can you tell us what has been the consultation process between Treasury and the Health Department to date? Has there been a meeting or meetings? What was discussed? And how can we as a House be satisfied that there's been an adequate consultation process? Can you talk us through and give us some information about when that report is going to come to light?
Minister.
Thank you very much. Let me attempt to deal with this question from two parts. The first one relates to the cost of the NHI. Firstly, let me say that on most of the countries that we have been able to benchmark with, that we have spoken to, they have said that they have started, they instituted NHI when they were in a worse economic situation than South Africa is today. And therefore they have said that there is no need to wait until there is economic recovery, because investing in the health of our people is actually a major investment in building the economy of the country. It helps to build human capital. It also helps to give you a healthier population. We've got a study that's been done in the continent that has shown how ill health, morbidity, and mortality has actually has had a negative impact on the GDPs, particularly in 50% of the country. In 50% of the problems is 5 major countries: South Africa, Nigeria, DRC, etc. And this means that we need to actually act on the matter. The second aspect, so we will actually have to implement NHI that will help us in the long term to rebuild our economy. In the issue of the consultation with the Treasury, there are ongoing discussions with Treasury. I've quoted an instance. We've had several meetings with Treasury. Last week, we've had a meeting with the Minister and the officials in both Treasury and National Health. About 4 weeks ago, I had a meeting with the officials in Treasury, National Health, and the War Room and the Presidency, and we went through all of these issues. A lot of the issues are issues that are work in progress that need to be worked upon amongst us. And what Treasury has been raising is a question of what the projections need to be today with the lower growth rate, as opposed to what would have been the assumption 10 years ago. So those are the issues that we're discussing, and the question of how do we work on the packaging and how do we roll out NHI. But there's no paper from Treasury that says that NHI must be abandoned, it must not be implemented. There's general acceptance from everyone that NHI is actually the best way to solve the problem, and what we're all dealing with are the mechanics of how we go about